Hi, my name's Janice Wright-Cheney. My work is called Sardinia. It's being presented at FLOURISH Festival. This is not the first time the work has been shown. It was originally created and installed in a small town in Maine called Eastport. And I made the work inspired by the story of the sardine cannery. Our fishermen and fishers also brought their harvest and their catch to Eastport to be processed. So it's like part of our story too. The night that we opened it and I had a short talk to introduce the work, a woman came and spoke to me who was friends with somebody who used to go up in a spotter plane. He described a school of sardines that was 5 miles wide and 7 miles long. And just imagine, like, it's staggering actually to imagine the abundance that once was. So I hope that people think about that as well. It's part of it. In the Mediterranean area, there's an island called Sardinia, and the small fish take their name from that island. I imagined having these fish swim across the ceiling and sort of create this sense of abundance that was once existed. I make things that I sort of figure out and I reproduce. In this case, I made a lot of sardines from recycled plastic, and I assembled other materials too, like netting and fabric to use as part of the installation. At times I was like, what was I thinking? This is a really ambitious piece to assemble. So I reached out to some young artists that I already knew as friends. Ryan O'Toole did the video editing. We found a piece of found footage, and he worked on the video to make it like really special and layered. And then my son David Cheney and his friend Charlie Harding created a beautiful composition and music. So we were actually sort of talking about the process of working together. The components came together so beautifully. Like, I was just so excited when we showed the work the first time. We weren't able to all be together to see how it was all going to fit, and they just made beautiful pieces that helped the full installation become this immersive sound and projected result.
My name's Ryan O'Toole. I'm a filmmaker. In my own practice, one of my main focuses is how digital textures can be used to build atmosphere and how texture can help transform the mood of a piece. When I started playing with the video's color and started cutting together my favorite sections, I noticed the video's texture, which is made up of these kind of rough, noisy clusters of pixels. The video's texture and the video's content were kind of doing this dance together. So the bulk of the editing came down to finding my favorite moments of movement and texture and then combining them together by cross-fading sections of video and overlaying different double exposures and sometimes triple or quadruple exposures so that the movement of the sardines and the movement of the video texture and the overlapping segments combine to create this kind of languid, atmospheric video texture laid over the physical elements of the installation.
So my name's Charlie Harding, and I do creative work with sound. I worked in collaboration with David Cheney to develop the sound component for Sardinia. So at the beginning of this project, we were given a general idea of what the project would be about. We decided that it would be good to approach the sounds in a way that would reflect the visual elements. So working with David was a really excellent process and exploration of collaboration. The two of us worked pretty well together as one mind throughout this process. I had a controller for Ableton that both of us used at the same time. Sometimes we would even play together on it, both of us in a duet kind of form when developing pieces of the music. A morph between certain kinds of scenes. So in it we would have that cannery, and then we would have these pointillistic kind of fishy sounds that came through, and then it would fall into a drone and you would be within the waves of an ocean, and then it would fall into that granulated kind of deep texture, and you would find yourself under a boat, so to speak. And and then an organ would play, and you would find yourself being in almost a kind of it was meant to invoke a sense of reverence of the sea while also being in a church, so it blends those two environments.